and I was noticing that all of these soldiers were marrying all of these Japanese girls. And, you know, like, I love black women. You know, I don't have any, like, I just love black women.
Preface yourself.
And so, just a preface. And so, like, for me, I was like, what? I'm a curious person. I'm like, why these Japanese girls? I want to know. And what I had conversations with a few of them, what they told me is like, you know, there's no pressure. Like, we drive a Geo, we got an apartment, and she happy with me. I mean, she's doing all those things that we want in a wife. Like, she's doing those things. All I need to do is come home and spend time with my family. You know, there's no pressure to have this, there's no pressure to have that. And so for them, I can be a provider without somebody thinking I'm not providing enough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, big shout out to Dr. Bobby Price. I love this dude's channel. I do. And he says a lot of things about health and wealth and all of that good shit. And he's talking a lot more so about, you know, the lifestyle that we choose, the foods we choose to eat. I think he's a nutritionist, maybe. I might be a little off path with that one. But, you know, he talks a lot about, you know, your body and your body's health, right? And I love his channel. The one thing I can't do right now is go vegan or vegetarian. That's one thing that he preaches, you know, getting your good nutrients and all of that stuff, your good hydration and stuff from, you know, the natural fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. Big pause, I can't help it. I like steak and chicken. But anyways, that's another story for another day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk to you about what he was talking about in this particular video, about seeing a lot of foreign men dating, dealing, and marrying Asian women, more specifically Japanese women in this particular video. And it's a topic of conversation we've talked about on a multitude of different occasions, nothing new. But basically what he got at was men don't feel as much pressure when it comes to dealing with foreign women, right? And this is always a very, very touchy fucking subject, and I don't know why. Because there's always two ways to look at it. Unfortunately, there's always two ways to look at it. Way number one is I can be a man, I can be my true self, I can earn some bread, but as long as I'm there to take care of my family, as long as I'm present in my, you know, my family's life and I'm there, I don't necessarily need a plethora of money in order for my woman to be happy with me. That comes more so from dealing with women in certain Asian countries. It doesn't represent all women, but a greater majority of women do have those particular characteristics abroad. Then you have the other side of it where it is, oh, if you broke, just say you broke, right? Or, oh, if you can't make money, just say you can't make money, right? Or if you ain't got it like that, just say that shit. That's kind of the energy you get when it comes to dealing with most women in the Western world. You have to have X amount of money, drive a nice car, do all of this shit in order to even remotely talk to these particular females. Now, I'm kind of stuck, and I've always battled with this particular type of conversation because I want you to be with a young lady that's happy with you where you are, regardless, and y'all can build together. But at the same time, the operative word there is build. Don't necessarily want you guys to become complacent. And well, my girl accepts me for where I am in my life, so I don't have to build, or I don't have to build up or level up, right? I want you to make as much money as humanly possible. And I want you to have the motivation to do that because you have a young lady in your corner that doesn't necessarily care about how much money you're bringing in, as long as it's enough to support your family. Right? It doesn't have to be $100,000. I told you, you don't have to make 6 figures overseas in order to have a decent life, in order to deal with the young lady that really wants to rock with you. I believe personally that all finances should be kept out of the conversation for a meaningful period of time until you actually decide that this is the woman you want to be with. And then moving forward, you know, we can go through the conversations and however you choose to break down, you know, what we making and what we bringing in and all that shit, so she knows. But what I've noticed in most relationships, for the most part, is as long as there's food on the table, as long as everybody's taken care of, it's very rare that your young lady gonna ask you about your finances. It's very rare. And if she does, in my personal opinion, I look at that as a cause of concern. If she's worried about your finances, because that's none of her business, technically. At least if you're dating. Now, if you're married, it's a little bit different, okay? But going back to the idea that there's no pressure, it's true. It's true. There's not a lot of pressure that comes with this shit. So you're able to live a life, you're able to be able to go in and transition and do the things that you need to do in order to level up without there being that feeling of disparity or that feeling of, yo, if I don't have it now, nobody's gonna fuck with me. And most of these young ladies in these foreign countries are willing to build with you. It's a common saying, and I'm not the first to say it, and I won't be the last, ladies and gentlemen. Most of these women in foreign countries, they're willing to build with you. Most of these young ladies in the West, they're not willing to build. They just want to be there at the finish line, right? They want to be there when you've already got it all. Nobody wants to go through the struggles and the challenges with you. So if you find a young lady that's willing to go through the challenges and the struggle with you, like me and mine did, you know, you might be on to something. You just might be on to something. Especially if they're not pressuring you like, oh my God, if we don't get this, or we don't have this, or, you know, she's not comparing y'all's relationship to somebody else's relationship, or a friend that has more money that's able to do all this stuff for their wife and she's not really pressed by it and it doesn't really, you know, concern her or anything. You just might have you a real one. But what my man Dr. Price was saying in this video was absolutely accurate. There's no pressure. I can live my life. We can live a decent life. It doesn't always have to be this high lifestyle. I'm sorry, high life lifestyle, I'm sorry. And even if we wanted to get there, it's something that we could do together, right? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean the young lady is out there working too, because maybe you guys have it in your minds that you want your young lady to stay at home and take care of the kids. Perfectly fine. If she does that job and does that job well, that's her helping you build too, right? If you guys want to do a business together, or she's in the background taking care of the paperwork and shit while you're trying to build something, you know what I'm saying? There's different scenarios that you can, you know, plug in and you'll be able to understand what the good doc is putting down. But the pressure to have it all in the beginning or have it all right now is not there when it comes to dealing with most young ladies overseas. I'm not going to say that that is representative of the thought process of all, but I do believe that is the thought process of the greater majority. And so when I heard this, I felt obligated to bring it to the audience. All right. If you guys have anything you want to add to it, by all means, let me know. Maybe you guys are dealing with a situation like that right now. I can speak personally about my own relationship. I've said it time and time again. Now I'm not gonna repeat it because I've said it before. But yeah, me and my young lady, we went through them tough times. We did that. College kids, man. College kids, nobody earning no money. I was living off a fucking allowance. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that back then. Like, she didn't come into the relationship with me having everything. Right? I mean, I ain't gonna sit there and say I was dusty or dead broke, but at the same time, I didn't have what I'm able to acquire right now, right? And because she's been there through hard shit, right? Through some shit, it's kind of like, she deserves what we get, right? She deserves to be a part of this. And that's why she got the boys last day. You feel me? And if you find a young lady in your life that you're able to say, hey, she been rocking with you for a long time and she built with you and all that shit and she stayed down, I do believe that regardless, she should be rewarded in some capacity. All right? Don't just use them, man. Anyways, that's another story for another day, but it's been a good day, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Doc is out.